What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Let's get into the sugar honey iced tea storm surrounding Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, man, he's been caught in the political crosshairs, taking heat from every direction. Michelle Beadle came at him today, Carrie Champion. I think he's at a point where he's finding himself isolated as somewhat of a political castaway of sorts, bending to the left so often that it's just become a reflex. And just when you think you can start to cheer the brother on, he bends the knee and veers left again. We're going to get into it. Hit the like button for me. Let's go.
I'm not going to let y'all get away with that, with this stuff about men and black men with black women. First of all, to the brothers out there, can we ask a question? Can we disagree with a sister from time to time? We damn sure do it privately. What, we're forbidden to do it on camera? What's up, fellas? You gonna leave me standing there, sitting there, and don't say anything? We can't disagree? Without being accused of disrespect or misogyny? For asking a question? Again, I apologize for the unintended effect, and I meant it.
That's the problem right there. He keeps apologizing. You give a critique, and then you come back and apologize for it. We here on this channel, we was riding with Stephen A. until he bent the knee. We was riding with him.
I don't want that to get lost. But what I'm saying is, why are we having this problem? You're trying to make this about the black man and the black women. Stop. My record speaks for itself. Google me. We ain't going for that. You think I don't know what the hell this is? I ask a simple question. Sit down for this one. If it were Candace Owens instead of Jasmine Crockett or somebody else, what would you have said?
Nothing.
If it was the black woman who ran for governor of Virginia and just lost to the woman Spanberger in Virginia, Earl Sears, I believe is her name, Winsome Earl Sears. If I was talking about her, would y'all have said anything? If I was talking about somebody like Sage Steele, our former colleague at ESPN, who's now in the podcast space and doing her thing, would you have said anything? Trying to make this about gender and race. No, this is about politics, ideology. You expect me, as a black man, to stand firm supporting the Democratic Party.
Exactly.
That's what this is about.
Exactly.
That's what this is about. If I said the same thing about those conservative black women, y'all would not have said a word. So if it's about politics, say so. See, that's where the left gets slick. And this is somebody, you can't say anything to me because I vote for you anyway, because I'm looking at a policy by policy, and I understand the attention that needs to be brought to the desolate and the disenfranchised, to the poorest amongst us, and for us to do what we can to uplift them. That's how I live my life, trying to do it. And even though the Republicans might have some policies and their thought process might be free market capitalism, free land of opportunity, do that, whereas the Democrats might have given blacks more access to capital through some policies and what have you, the bottom line is, on far too many occasions, it's come across like they care more about that than the other side might. Whatever you may think, the fact of the matter is, this is about politics and ideology, and about the left trying to muscle and flex us into doing and thinking and spreading and disseminating what you want me to do. Bump that. I apologize. I'm not doing it. I do what I want to do. I think for me. I voted for Kamala Harris. I voted for Barack Obama twice. I voted for Bill Clinton. Don't come to me acting like, oh, I'm supposed to parrot your speech. You sitting there on the White House lawn dancing with Joe Biden, who was 80. Forgetting you're going to bring up Trump with the rent issue in the 70s, but we gonna conveniently ignore Joe Biden and the crime bill with the Senate in the 90s. And the disproportionate effect that had on black people and incarceration. Bill Clinton apologized for it. It happened in the 90s. He apologized for it in 2016, conveniently when Hillary Rodham Clinton was running. By the way, when the privatization of the prison system took fold, wasn't it some Democrats making money off of that? Because they invested in it? We didn't bring that up. I can't ask that. I can't bring that up. I can't be suspicious about stuff like that. Come on, y'all. Come on.
All righty. That was a mouthful right there. I want to start with you, Celeste. I want to open the floor with you. I do want to say this. I want to say was it 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago at this point, that we did a show discussing him and we were bigging him up. It was like, man, Stephen A's like showcasing like he has a spine. And then it wasn't even a full week cycle that he had, basically bent the knee, took all of it back. And it's like, you're asking for people to get behind you, but it's like, you're not standing on a square. You're not standing, firm in a belief system that people can get behind. No one really knows where you stand. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think that if you ever spent any time watching Hallmark movies or the Hallmark Channel or soap operas, you would find that not only Black women, but all women are beyond critique. So that's not something that's particular to Black women. That is a position that society has put all women in. However, in terms of Stephen A., I just want to come out and say I was not one who was overly supporting Stephen A. because Stephen A., like the clock, tends to only be right twice a day. And I think he's in a transition. He's forced into a transition because he, like many, are in a difficult spot. And the spot is this: the lane he used to operate in very successfully in is dying. And he's smart enough to know that. However, he doesn't have an audience any place but that lane. So he is trying to be right twice a day to court a new audience of people who are really moving the conversation forward while still maintaining his old support. And it makes him often conflicted. So I expect to see more of this type of behavior. I expect to see him come out and say something and we can all cheer, and we should, when he says something right. And I expect him to capitulate and crawl with his tails between his legs most of the time. And I think the truth of that is a secret that he's hoping doesn't get out. The fact of the matter is, he identifies as an independent, and he identifies himself as someone who's not beholden to either party. However, how you identify yourself is one part of the equation. To complete the equation, other people also have to identify you as that. And his audience has identified him as a liberal. And they are saying to him, not that we expect you, Stephen A., to toe the Black line. We expect you to toe the liberal line. And so far, he's doing it.
Absolutely. Robert, get in there. You can go with it wherever you would like to go. What are your thoughts?
Okay. So, that's the thing about independence. I have an issue with people that are like, well, I'm a centrist independent. And, in 2009, he came out as an independent. And you can basically test the waters. Whatever he feels that is popular, he can join with that and then come back this way, right? That's why he came out recently critiquing the Democratic Party and how they're losing, and then one day he's supporting Trump and not supporting Trump, which it sounds good, right? Because we can all agree and disagree with many other people, but the issue with an independent, in my opinion, is that I kind of look at it like a let's say there's a burning building, right? And you got the people that are there standing looking at this building, right? You got some people that'll jump into the building to help somebody that needs help, right? And then you got other people that are just filming it. They're just filming it, just there. I don't want to get in there to help, because I don't believe that they should help. Whatever. Then you got the other people that are, the just, just there, just to see what's going on. And that's how I see, conservatives. We're the ones that trying to get into the fire, first responders, trying to help, trying to figure out. The Democratic parties, well, it's not my business, whatever. And the independence is like, I don't know, I have no opinion, whatever. I don't know where I feel, I don't know what I stand. That's how I kind of see it. But as far as the critiquing the women and the black women, I don't know, man. I think that just not like Salih said, it's all women right now in this era. You can't even say anything because they can, for if you body shame them, they can body shame us guys, right? Say, oh, you're short, you're and if you say the other, like you're a little bit skinny or whatever, then
Robert, I think you're absolutely right. He kind of, throwing his finger out there and kind of seeing which way the wind is blowing. And, he's kind of grifting one way to another to try to get a bag. And so far, I mean, it's been fairly successful. My issue with independents, all the independents that I've met, they've all blue. They all are former Democrats and they all vote blue no matter who. So even though they say they're Democrats, they are liberals at heart. In all actuality,
that's because contemporary times right now, it seems like the left is what the popularity is, right? According to Hollywood and all that, whatever is in the media. That's why they seem to kind of cater to the left. But my belief is right now we're seeing a switch. We're seeing a switch where the Republicans are starting to sound famous. That's why he's starting to kind of like move over a little bit. But then he's seeing like, oh, what happened? Seeing that the left still has a hold and he's coming back. And it's hard to read those people because there was a rumor that he wanted to run for president in 2028, right?
There's no way that's happened. Crystal, what are your thoughts?
A double-minded man, definitely not stable. When you look at Ephesians 4:14, it says, then we will no longer be immature like children. We won't be tossed and blown about by every wind of new teaching. We will not be influenced when people try to trick us with lies so clever they sound like the truth. Stephen A. Smith lets people tell him anything and he cowers every time. Every single time. He keeps getting his cojones chopped off and dropped somewhere every few seconds. It's like, what is going on? Are you a man or are you not a man? I don't understand who you are. Like you can't stand on business. You afraid to say something. And the thing is, you're absolutely right. And I think that's what irritates me so much about women. Yes, I'm going to say this. Women, it's like they will criticize, they will disrespect. They could say what they could do, whatever when it comes to a man. If a man just says, I disagree, oh, you're a misogynist. Nope. Listen, he does not respect women. Nope. He's a woman hater. And you're just like, because he corrected you? Did I miss? And then people actually cower to that. And I'm like, why are you cowering to this foolishness? The thing is, this is what you call manipulation. And the Bible warned about this in Isaiah 3:12. He says, childish leaders oppress my people and women rule over them. And that is what's happening. He says, my people, your leaders mislead you and they send you down the wrong road. And that is where we are living right now. Exactly what Isaiah 3:12 was saying, because women are leading. Women leading is, listen, I love women. I'm a woman. But women are a hot mess. We have sparkle creeds, men and women's bathrooms and sports, and all the foolishness. And it's from women leading, and that is the problem. So we need to take a seat, do exactly what God called us to do, and let men lead. And I feel like Stephen A. Smith is going to, because like you said, he's the lone wolf. I think the Lord is just going to let Stephen A. Smith hit rock bottom. And when he hits rock bottom, all he can do is look up at that point, because no one is going to take him. There's going to be zero respect unless he really, truly just bends the knees and never, ever, ever speaks out against the Democratic Party. Listen, he will end up on an island all alone. I just want people to understand, everybody that has a church, everyone that says that they are Christian, if they have no fruit, they're not Christian. I don't care if Black women show up in churches. Like I just told everybody in my live, I don't want to hear about these Negro Black spiritual leaders that can't even catch their breath when they're talking. I don't care about them people. They're not. That is not of God. So don't mix up the two. You need to see fruit. If you don't see fruit, they're not followers of Christ. That's it.
Well, I mean, I don't really have much to say about Stephen A. For once, I agree with Crystal. Basically, he's just a coward, dude. Because he always folds. Anytime you press him just a little bit, he folds.
Yeah.
And people were trying to push this guy to run for president. President of what? He couldn't mean, dude. He couldn't be president of the freaking neighborhood watch. You know, like so it's just a joke. A lot of these guys, man, who are making these ridiculous, paydays, 20 million, 25 million. These are people you don't look to make get advice on much. You might get a kernel of wisdom here and there, but for the most part, there's nothing there, man. Those people sold out for the money a long time ago.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
They just shells of people basically walking around, and trying to preach some type of morality when they have very little morality themselves. So I, I just don't really pay much attention to them. Even as a sportscaster, I just never really paid much attention to him. I'm more of a Shannon Sharp guy. I was never a Stephen A. Smith guy. Black women in particular, do have a problem on getting criticized, which they really need to come to grips with, because a lot of times the criticism doesn't come from a place of trying to harm you or hurt your feelings or belittle you or make you feel less than. It's more of you know, a place of love where we want you to get yourself together. Don't get played by the system. Don't fall into this feminism. Just trying to just help you just avoid a lot of the traps. You know. So and guys like Stephen A. They claim they're independent, but these are really liberal men in disguise.
I don't even know
These
if
are
you can
just
say disguise. I don't think he's in disguise. I don't think he's in costume. I mean, he's come out and let us
yeah.
know that he voted for Kamala, voted for Obama twice, voted for Hillary Clinton. He's come out and he's endorsed or at least voted for, every liberal candidate, up there in New York City. He's not in disguise.
But you
He's
have
out his own mouth has come out and said that, hey, I don't know how this works, but I think he says I am fiscally, I'm conservative, but socially he's liberal. He's come out and said that on a multitude of occasions. So I don't think I don't think he's wearing a disguise. I think he's, showing us exactly who he is. I just think that, he tends to get us somewhat excited. I think a lot of it is the fact that he has a platform. And every now and again, like Celeste said, there's, dead clocks twice. It's right, twice a day. And he will come out and say some factual things. And then next thing you know, he bends a knee and comes back. I want to get Dion in on the conversation. Dion, what are your thoughts, in reference to Stephen A. saying, are black women above critique?
I mean, nowadays, I guess that's true for most black women. They feel that way. And, it's coming from that place of, well, the fact that so many black women have just staunchly embraced this whole feminism thing. And that's where they are at this point. And, it's sad, but like Crystal mentioned out of the book of Isaiah chapter 3, that was in biblical times when women were in power and women were leading, that was not something cute. That was a sign of judgment. So, and the reason it's judgment is because men in an environment like that can't be the men that God wants them to stand up and be. They have to sit down, they have to acquiesce, and they have to act like children, in the presence of women, whether it be black women or just women in general. And it's been so disgusting to see that happen, especially in these last 4 years or so, with everything that's gone on under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There's just been so much of that. This country is under judgment, whether people know it or not. It is not cute. Women being in power. And I'm saying that as a woman, but, and just in general, I mean, it's sad when you can't undergo any kind of criticism. And somebody like Jasmine Crockett, who has so much to say about so many people, and she's supposed to be untouched. Please.
Yeah, I was on the fence of how I honestly, truly felt about Stephen Smith. Let me phrase what I thought about Stephen A. Smith, and I never really known. Like, he started off as a sports commentator, and being the fact that he was a sports commentator, I didn't know much about it because I don't follow sports at all. Like, my guys that I hang around with, they follow sports, and then they have something like an event for whatever's coming up, and then I'm just there like a fly on the wall. But I lost what little respect I had for him when he apologized to Jasmine Crockett. I couldn't, like, that is crazy. And it's not so much that it's not so much that he apologized. It's that he apologized for something that wasn't offensive.
Mm-mm.
He didn't disrespect her how she looked. He didn't disrespect whatever accomplishments she may have. He didn't say anything like she's a low IQ individual like Trump would say. He didn't say anything disrespectful. He just apologized and for the least offensive comment that I can imagine somebody saying. I don't know. I've been asking myself, which is worse, a person that is blindly liberal or a person that is independent, because you don't know, you just, like Stephen A. Smith, don't know which way the wind is going to blow them in. Because I don't know, like, the Bible speaks about lukewarm people, right? So if I don't understand, I'm not saying that everybody should be conservative in their thought process and in their political beliefs. I do also say, however, how can you be liberal in your beliefs, like, and still have morals about yourself? Because I noticed with that, and with Stephen A. Smith, he said he voted for Kamala Harris, Obama twice, and Hillary Clinton. That's 20 years.
Yes.
I think he also went down the list of, I think, Al Gore as well. One of those times during the Bush time frame. I think he went down that list. As far as I know, the dude's only voted Democrat.
Right.
At a certain point, you start bleeding blue. So
we're all Christians, correct? Right? We all believe in God. Do we all have the grace to give Stephen A. Smith forgiveness? Like, do we have that in us? Because I feel like he's like a lot of guys that are kind of silent right now. He is super in between. You got to realize where he's coming from. He's a typical black man that's voted Democrat and been slapped in the face with the truth and has no idea to really respond to right now. That's how I'm taking it. And a lot of people are bringing up the fact that he has money and he's getting paid. But if I was in his shoes and I'm getting all this information, remember, he's also tapped into like everybody. Music and sports taps you into behind the scenes. I'm in the music industry. There's stuff I may know that everybody else may comment on. It's like, man, y'all just don't know the details. So now he's probably like texting people, trying to figure out the truth. And as he's going through his process of finding the truth, we're seeing that process. Does that make sense to y'all? Mm-hmm. So with the whole woman part, we all know, especially black men, because we saw Kevin Samuels get blasted on internet for speaking the truth and it wasn't the fact just because what he was saying, it was how he was saying it. But also, if you was to take what he was saying about the truth of our community, if you was to read it on paper, he was telling the truth. I understand that we cannot give criticism to certain people, because if they accept the criticism, they now have to accept the fact that they're wrong. And a lot of people don't know how to admit that they're wrong. Does that make sense? So it's better for me to put the blame back on you and personally attack you instead of me just sitting back and saying, you know what, I'm actually wrong. Like that's how this is my perspective from the outside looking in. I don't like space. I'm 6'5". I did not play sports. I don't know anything about sports. All I knew about was Stephen A. Smith's hairline, and he was loud. That's all I know about Stephen A. Smith. That's
pretty much all you need to know.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much.
But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. The link's in the description box below. I appreciate the support, the love. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones. let the darkness lead.